It was the first day of the new school year, and the air inside Willow Creek High buzzed with teenage energy, some of it good, some of it cruel. In classroom 3B, whispers started before the homeroom bell even rang. New teacher was arriving today, young, quiet, soft-spoken, easy prey. And for a few students in the back row, that meant one thing: target-locked asterisk. Her name was Ms. Naomi Yates, and she was everything the rumors promised. Barely 28, with almond-shaped eyes, a calm voice, and a kind smile, she didn't look like she could yell, let alone survive a day at a school infamous for its rowdy students. She carried herself gently, dressed modestly, and spoke softly, like someone who'd spent her life in libraries. Asterisk that first morning. She stepped in, smiled at her class, and began writing her name on the whiteboard when a voice in the back blurted out, "Miss Yeti, are you even old enough to teach?" Laughter rippled through the room. Asterisk Naomi paused, turned slowly, and gave a patient smile. "Yates," she corrected gently. "And yes, I'm old enough to teach. Let's begin." But that wasn't the end. Asterisk. As the weeks went by, the bullying grew worse. A group of senior boys athletes, with loud mouths and bigger egos, led the charge. They mimicked her voice, mocked her clothes, and once even swapped her desk chair with a broken one. Naomi never reacted in anger. She calmly moved forward with her lessons, never retaliating, never escalating. That only made them push harder. "Bet she cries after class." One of them joked, asterisk, she probably teaches because she couldn't do anything else, said another. They were wrong on both counts. What no one in that classroom knew, what Naomi had hidden carefully, was that outside of school, she wasn't just a quiet teacher. She was a second-degree black belt in Shotokan karate. She'd trained since she was 10, earned her black belt at 16, and had once competed internationally. But to Naomi, martial arts wasn't for show. It was for discipline, focus, and peace, not to prove a point in a high school classroom. Asterisk still, there's a line. And those boys were about to cross it. It happened on a Wednesday afternoon. Asterisk school had ended, and Naomi stayed behind to finish grading assignments. The halls were mostly empty. She stepped out of her classroom for a moment and returned to find a scene that made her heart sink. Asterisk. Her lesson plans were scattered across the floor. Someone had written the words, "Nobody cares," across the whiteboard. In black marker, a broken pencil stabbed into her chair. Asterisk, and standing in the corner smirking, was Kyle Jensen, the ringleader of the Bullies. He didn't expect her to walk in so soon. "Oh," he said, grinning. "Mrs. Karate Kid?" She said nothing. Kyle stepped closer. "What's the matter? Can't cry now?" Asterisk. Naomi looked at him calmly. "Clean it up, asterisk," he laughed. "Or what?" And that's when things shifted. Asterisk Naomi didn't shout. She didn't lecture. She simply took off her cardigan, stepped forward with precise control, and in one smooth motion, spun and delivered a perfect roundhouse kick, not at Kyle, but at the pencil lodged in her chair. It snapped in half and fell to the ground. Asterisk Kyle froze. His mouth dropped open. Asterisk then, with graceful posture, Naomi dropped into a perfect front stance and demonstrated a flawless kata sequenza, flowing set of blocks, strikes, and turns that ended with a loud, focused kai-ai. The sound echoed off the classroom walls. Kyle took a step back. What was that?" Asterisk Naomi straightened, picked up her cardigan, and said, "That was me choosing not to hurt you." Asterisk. She walked past him and began picking up her lesson plans. The next day, the story had already spread. Fast. Asterisk someone had filmed part of the moment from the hallway window. The video went viral within hours. Quiet teacher shocks. Bully with black belt reveal. It made the morning announcements. Even the faculty couldn't believe what they saw. Asterisk, but Naomi didn't care about going viral. What mattered was the shift in the classroom. The teasing stopped. The whispers faded. Kyle avoided eye contact. Some students even began to participate. More in class, especially when Naomi casually used karate metaphors to explain math formulas. Asterisk precision. She'd say, is like control in a kata. Every number must be placed deliberately. The students listened. Asterisk eventually, Kyle stayed after class, not to mock but to apologize. Asterisk, I'm sorry, he mumbled. I didn't know you were like that. Asterisk, Naomi looked at him. But not with anger, Kyle. My job isn't to impress you. It's to teach you respect, effort, discipline. I wasn't angry at you. I was disappointed. Asterisk, he looked ashamed. Can I ask something? Asterisk, yes. Asterisk, do you think I could learn too? The karate stuff? Naomi smiled. And from that day on, she began an after-school self-defense, class-free, inclusive, focused on discipline and inner strength. Students who had once mocked her now lined up mats and practiced breathing techniques. Asterisk even. Kyle became one of her most focused students. The story of Ms. Naomi Yates spread far beyond her school. She was invited to speak at teacher workshops, martial arts seminars, and even appeared on a morning news show. But the fame never changed her. She still wore the same cardigans, still graded late into the night, still taught with patience and compassion. Asterisk, one day, near the end of the school year, a student asked her, Asterisk, why didn't you just fight back earlier? Naomi paused and answered gently, because fighting back isn't about proving who's stronger. It's about knowing when to stand up not for your pride, but for your peace. I waited because I hoped they would choose better. And when they didn't, I showed them who I really was, not with violence, but with purpose. Final message. Asterisk, strength isn't loud. It's not about hurting others. True strength is calm, patient, and precise. Asterisk, and when the time comes, it stands not. To strike back, but to stand tall and remind the world that kindness is never weakness. Asterisk.